All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Chapin Spencer, Director of Public Works, and we are so excited to be here on a most appropriate weather day to talk about wastewater and wastewater improvements. This is a generational upgrade to our Main Wastewater Plant, and we couldn't be more excited to share this day with you. I want to thank the Mayor, Mulvaney-Stanak, for being here and her strong support in advancing this work to the voters and to the public. It's also an honor to be joined by Julie Moore, Vermont ANR, Agency of Natural Resources. The partnership is deep as we figure out how to do the next stage of wastewater treatment and how we coordinate the protection of Lake Champlain. Finally, I want to thank a lot of the water resources staff here. You all have done the design work, the planning work, but you've also done the day-to-day operations to keep the plants going and our pump stations and our collection system that has unfortunately been underinvested for decades, and we are catching up now thanks to your good work. This work is decades in the making. We've been doing the planning. We've also we've coordinated the funding, the planning, the community education to get to this point today. And really, I want to thank the Burlington voters for their trust in us to steward this vital infrastructure. I do want to say that a lot of our work here in the city has been very impactful, the construction work we've been doing. Fortunately, this work is very impactful, but not seen to the day-to-day folks. So we are going to be flying the plane, operating the plant, while we do this generational reinvestment. So this is very complicated work, but fortunately will not have a huge impact in the day-to-day for the public. I do want to say that Lake Champlain is the heart of our community. It's central to our economy, our recreation, and our health. And today we are proud to say that Burlington continues to do our part to protect this treasure. Now I'd like to welcome the mayor up here to share how this generational work sets the foundation for the city's future. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you, Chapin. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, Chapin, and thanks everyone for being here, especially our water resources team and all of our partners who are pulling off such a really historic and momentous moment here in the city of Burlington. I'm pleased to really help mark this big milestone we have here as we kick off generational upgrades, Chapin Spencer's favorite word, to our Main Wastewater Treatment Plant here down on the waterfront. I also want to extend my thank you to our critical state partners, including Secretary Moore and other state partners for their support and joining us as the city for this groundbreaking today. You'll note I wore my closed-toed shoes. No one told me it was actually going to be shovels. That's fine. I'm totally adaptable to what we need to do. You have to be as the mayor of the city of Burlington. But this project truly represents countless hours of work done by our dedicated city team, who would not only for keeping our water and wastewater and stormwater infrastructure operational, but also have contributed significant energy and effort to making this project literally shovel ready today. These generational improvements to our critical wastewater infrastructure will unlock the capacity to help this city reach our goals related to climate resilience and keeping the lake clean. And these are essential as well as we make sure we do our part on our ambitious housing targets in the city of Burlington. This project would not be possible without the broad community support shown by our voters, and I really do appreciate and applaud them for having the vision and the trust in this city to make sure that they're confident supporting 3 major bonds, but this one in particular, to help us get to work. And while we're celebrating this transformational investment in our infrastructure, we are also reaffirming our commitment to affordability through the Water Resources Assistance Program, including important partnerships also with Burlington Electric to provide support to renters. As well as homeowners. Those affordability initiatives continue to move forward, and we will continue to do this work with the City Council even as of Monday, where we'll start the ordinance change process. In closing, again, I want to really thank our Secretary Julie Moore from the state, our Water Resources and entire Public Works team, Jenny Patterson from the Lake Champlain Committee, our contractors, and all that have played a role in making this project possible. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rain, enjoying this big historic milestone moment. I'm proud to be here with all of you today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Julie Moore from the Agency of Natural Resources and am pleased to be joined by a number of members of our Department of Environmental Conservation staff today who are intimately involved in wastewater projects. I think it's important to start by acknowledging that exactly 2 years ago today, as well as last year on this same exact date, areas across Vermont experienced catastrophic flooding. And although the city of Burlington was largely spared from community-wide devastation that was seen in places like Barre and Hardwick, Johnson, Linden, Montpelier, and Ludlow, flood flows in the Winooski River took out a major sewer line that runs along the river bottom in the Queen City. And that resulted in the discharge of hundreds of thousands of gallons of untreated sewage and a repair bill we know totaled millions of dollars. As I'm sure many of you are all too aware, Burlington was not alone in seeing that kind of costly damage to its water infrastructure as the result of extreme weather and our changing climate. During the July 2023 storms, fully 1/3, which is 33 of Vermont's 92 wastewater facilities sustained damage. And all told, we estimate there was more than $75 million in repairs required as a result, including 3 facilities that experienced terrible flooding and may need to be relocated. Projects like the ones we are here today to celebrate are essential to both building more resilient Vermont and protecting our vital water resources. Thanks to the voters and ratepayers in the city, the Burlington Public Works Department and their team that's represented here today, they are starting on the first stage of a major investment in water infrastructure. Collectively, the projects that will take place here over the next several years will replace old infrastructure, reduce overflow pollution to Lake Champlain, and make wastewater treatment capacity improvements which are foundational to the vibrant neighborhoods and housing that the mayor spoke to. The Agency of Natural Resources is pleased to be able to support this first phase of the project through a low-cost loan from the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and a $2.3 million pollution control grant. We look forward to this initial work in that it will address immediate needs of aging infrastructure, and future phases we understand will expand treatment capacity at the main facility, introduce additional treatment for combined sewer overflows, and make other necessary improvements. I see this project as exemplary, and it reflects the ongoing collaboration between the City of Burlington and the State of Vermont in making essential, cost-effective infrastructure investments that protect clean water and help our communities better withstand the challenges ahead from a changing climate. Thank you for letting me be part of this celebration today.
All right, next we have Jenny Patterson from the Lake Champlain Committee.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Patterson. I'm the Executive Director of the Lake Champlain Committee, and we are a nonprofit that engages in science-based advocacy and education on both sides of Lake Champlain. We're really grateful for the invitation to be here today from the City of Burlington, and particularly grateful to the voters of Burlington for approving the bond article to construct these upgrades to the wastewater treatment facility. Lake Champlain Committee runs a volunteer cyanobacteria monitoring program throughout Lake Champlain, both sides of the lake and in select inland Vermont lakes. And so we have volunteers going out. We see the cyanobacteria blooms that are fueled by phosphorus. And those blooms are starting earlier, they're going later, and we're getting lots of reports of them. So projects like this that reduce the phosphorus being discharged to the lake make a huge difference, and we're very grateful that Burlington is doing this work. There is still work to be done to comply with the goals that EPA set for Vermont to reduce phosphorus in 2016. That's a 20-year plan, but the City of Burlington is stepping up, and we're very appreciative of that work and for them inviting us to be here today. So thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Division Director Megan Moir, overseeing our Water Resources Division.
Hi all. I'm extremely pleased to be here celebrating the groundbreaking of the initial stage, which we affectionately call Stage 0, of our proactive wastewater treatment system upgrade. While several key pieces of equipment that previously failed in 2018 were replaced as part of the 2018 Clean Water Resiliency Plan, which was the disinfection systems and the computerized controls, this Headworks project starts the process of getting back on schedule with the important proactive infrastructure investments that are necessary to ensure the health of the lake, the growth of the Burlington housing stock, and our resiliency against storm events, which increase runoff to our combined sewers. Though we are celebrating this project here today at our largest wastewater treatment plant, we call Main Plant, the Headworks project will actually touch all three of our plants, including the smaller plant at the end of North Avenue and the East plant on Riverside. I'd like to take the time to thank the members of my team, specifically wastewater leaders Matt Dow and Nate LaValle, engineering lead Martin Lee, and of course our freaking incredible wastewater operators who keep this place running no matter what, day in, day out, no matter what Mother Nature throws at them. I'd also like to thank members of our design team from Wright Pierce Engineering. They've been great partners in collaborating on this very complex project. And also members of the team representing PC Construction for all of their effort to date and all of their effort here to come. Projects like these are not inexpensive. All said and done, the project costs for just this phase of work are around $18.3 million. Advancing this project has been made possible through the loan that Secretary Moore mentioned, a low-cost financing mechanism at 2% interest. We've also been able to pull down $950,000 of loan forgiveness subsidy and the $2.3 million pollution control grant, which substantially reduces the debt that ratepayers have to repay. That SRF program is an extremely important financing tool for water resources infrastructure projects because of that low-cost mechanism. Those types of mechanisms and important funding like subsidies and grants are critical to mitigating the ever-causing rise of infrastructure projects, not just to ratepayers in Burlington, but across Vermont. Sorry, my papers are wet. I would like to specifically thank Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation and the Water Investment Division for their important ongoing work to make sure these types of funding tools exist and potentially even grow for Vermont. As we've all alluded, this gathering of water quality nerds and supporters also kicks off a multi-year project which will be, by my calculation, the single largest investment in wastewater infrastructure that Vermont has ever seen, and the first major investment since Main Plant was last upgraded in 1994. With the important support of the voters and simultaneous with this construction effort, the City of Burlington is entering the final design phase for approximately $124 million of investment here at Main Plant, which is in stage 1, which will be looking at those critical equipment replacements, the treatment capacity expansions that's going to allow us to welcome more housing, and notably, and maybe the most exciting part, installation of a tertiary treatment filter that's going to enhance our phosphorus removal, and it's estimated to further reduce phosphorus loading to the lake by more than 2,300 pounds annually. Essentially meeting Burlington's full obligation for what we need, meeting or exceeding Burlington's full obligation for what we need to do to the lake. As communicated throughout our 2025 bond outreach work, this work isn't limited to Main Plants or to this phase of work. A lot of the remaining borrowing capacity is going to be going towards implementing a comprehensive solution, which is also entering design right now, to further reduce storm-driven combined sewer overflows from our most active overflow point to the Pine Barge Canal. From there, there's numerous additional investments, which are all you can see on this slide, including continuing progress across the other 2 smaller plants, as well as at our 40-year-old drinking water plant, not to mention the vast network of pipes, which we all know sometimes sustain breaks throughout the city. Our ability to lock in additional grant sources, such as the pollution control grant, and secure additional SRF loans for the future larger project will be a major factor in the size of any future bond requests that we have to make to ratepayers. At the end of the day, I too must reserve the majority of my gratitude for the voters of Burlington. They have continued, through my tenure, to step up to the ballot box and say yes for water quality, even when faced with the rate increases that we all know will be needed to support these investments. So with that, I say thank you and pass it back to Chapin.
The partnerships are evident here in the comments today, and I want to just point out in the crowd too, the folks who are here to really celebrate this moment. We have the Lake Champlain Sailing Center, we have Hula, we have the Lake Champlain Chamber of Commerce. We are all invested in succeeding together here, and that's evident by who's here today. So thank you all for being here. Happy to answer any questions.
How many, as you go through the phases of this project,
how much wastewater is involved? How many gallons of water can you handle now versus through this project?
Might bring up Martin.
Yeah.
We are essentially for Main Plant increasing our current treatment capacity. Our permitted capacity right now is 5.3 MGD. That's for the dry weather, the day in, day out flows.
Millions gallons a day.
Sorry, we have additional capacity that we use to handle wet weather. With the improvements that we're planning in stage 1, correct me if I'm wrong, Martin, we're going to be increasing our permitted capacity, or we're seeking to increase it to about 6.8 or 6.5.
Yeah, and I mean, we're in the final design, but it's going to be in that 6.8 is 6.5 to 6.8 is the range that we're going to be ramping up to.
And we sort of landed on that number both because we needed to bring East Plant over as part of our long-term plan to consolidate from 3 plants into 2 plants, but also because when we worked with our planning department to look at where we thought growth was going to happen, housing growth in the city, a lot of the growth, the parcels that are sort of being earmarked, are in the Main Plant sewer shed. And so by doing this consolidation and increasing capacity here, we're going to give the city more flexibility as to where development can happen, which is essentially critical to us being able to be flexible with those projects in the future.
And you guys mentioned the project will help with sewage overflows, particularly in storms.
Yep.
How will it do that?
I think there's a couple of upgrades that are happening for the wet weather system here that will allow for more wet weather flow to be treated by the full process. Some of the money that's identified in stage 1, part of it's in the wastewater part of the package and the other part is in the stormwater, is specifically targeted for solutions on Pine Street, which is where the combined sewer overflow happens. Right now, we think that those solutions are going to take the form of a large storage tank in Callahan Park. But we have a new innovative solution in which we are looking at installing a new pipe, a new force main, part and parcel of some of the work that's happening with some of the development in the south end. But it's going to give us the ability to actually separate out wastewater that's currently in the undercapacitated system and put it into this new pipe, which is going to pay dividends as far as reducing the frequency of those overflows. Hopefully we won't have an overflow.
Yeah.
It takes more than this to trigger one of those.
We'll take a few more questions and then get to the groundbreaking.
I have some more if they don't.
Go for it.
Okay. We're seeing the changes on Main Street to, dig up and replace the old infrastructure. How old is the infrastructure here that you'll be replacing?
Yeah, most of it is from the last renovation from the 90s, but then as we did early in the tour with the Secretary, we showed her infrastructure that's here when this plant was first built in the 50s and then updated in the 70s as well. So it is a range. Most plants, since they operate 24/7 in very industrial conditions, they have a lifespan of 20 to 30 years. We're at 31 years since the last renovation. That's why Megan and I have thanked our staff so profusely, because we're working with old equipment in a combined sewer treatment plant, which is actually not the norm, where we're handling both wastewater and stormwater.
I'll stop my questions so that
Our dirt doesn't get wet.
Great. Well, I'd like to ask representatives of the state and our contractors to come over and join us for ceremonial groundbreaking. Thanks all for being here.
Can I borrow Matt will give me his helmet. You got a green helmet. Oh, perfect. It is appropriate. I should have also showed up. One other person. There you go.
All right.
Anybody else? Matt? Jenny?
Yeah, come on up, Team State.
We got 2 more.
At the end there. We have one at the end for Neil.
We got 2 more.
All
Matt.
right.
Matt, come on.
She's more important.
Yep.
Matt or Mark, you want to be on?
I think we're going to throw right into the middle here on the count a 3, right? All right, let's do it. Just hold for a sec. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Now somebody has to clean that up. Where's the erosion prevention?
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.